Woo! Oh my God. What? Oh, I can't believe it. It is what? Day 4. Oh my God. Is it day 3? Oh, day 3. Sorry. The Exploding Heart. Okay, Tisha, you're a little excited. You're a day ahead of yourself. Because, oh my God, that's all I've been thinking about is this quilt all this week. I kept saying, we are going to get this quilt done this week because I had my nice handy dandy tool. I shared that with you all earlier in the week. Oh my God, it has just saved that process for me of cutting and putting my squares, making my triangles. This cutting system really, really made it help. And I must say this again, I am we're not getting paid. I'm not a sponsor. We're not getting anything from it, but it has definitely been a game saver for me. But before we get started, let's make sure we got all of our stuff ready. Um, all of our techie stuff. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I want to make sure I can get into the chat. I think I struggled yesterday. I don't know what happened. Uh, just let's just double check. Can you guys hear me? And for my end, my Facebook haven't come up live yet. So I'm not sure if it's glitchy. Let's just see. It's live. Okay. Maybe I'm not doing something. Okay, help me out. Remember, Tisha's still new to the stuff, so I'm trying to do my best, making sure I'm going to the right pages. So if you all don't know, Facebook is pretty. I've been there several times, but it's not a site I visit every day. But I'm trying to get better at this, right? Right. All right then. So Cecily's helping me out with that and everything. So it sounds like you guys can hear me. You can see me. Everything is going well. Wonderful. All right. I think I turned it down. Thank you. Bless your heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now I can see you guys. Wonderful. All right. With that being said, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tisha, co-owner of Sew Creative Lounge, and we are the culture keepers of sewing and quilting. Quilting this week with the mission to teaching the world to sew one stitch at a time. And I want to say, welcome. If this is your first time, woohoo! We're in day 3. Now I know we're in day 3. We're in day 3. We got one more day to put this quilt together, but we are almost there, and I'm really excited about it. So if you are new, I mentioned this yesterday, we do have kits available. So I just want to remind people that if you're interested in this, you can always go back to these videos and watch this. So our kits are still available. With your kit, not only do you get the pattern, you get your 2 African print fat quarters, so which is really nice. So you need a nice variety of different prints and colors. This is what's going to make this quilt just amazing. You're also going to need your background fabric, and it requires about 4.5. Let me double check. Yeah, a background fabric there. So everything what you need is on the back of the pattern. Now, if you have everything you need, you got tons of fat quarters and African print fabric, you got your background fabric. It doesn't have to be black. Well, you can just purchase the pattern as well. So it is available. Okay. So you can purchase the pattern or you can purchase the kit. It's totally up to you. So it is available. Because I did get a lot of questions. Is it available? Is it available? Yes, it is. So moving forward, yesterday, let's recap. But before I recap, let me just talk to my members for a minute. To my members who are here today, I think you all had some questions in some of our different chats and everything, how to access your calendar. So if you're here, don't forget. And we send out emails in regards to this. You want to access your February calendar in the portal. So go to the portal. It may look like it's not updated, but you got to click on it. So click on it, okay? And that way you'll get access to our all of our events for the month of February, okay? Also to our what else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, to our sew-alongs. You guys, if you're working on a sew-along, we had an amazing class yesterday. Oh my God. Janet is like as you all know was still in New York and everything, but class was amazing. Oh my God, it was so good. Made us feel a little bit more reassured. Taking our taking the that cape that we wear every day, that being perfect. We're not aiming for perfect. We just want to just start somewhere and do something and just let our creativity just kick in, you know, and it's okay. Sometimes just playing is the best thing. So it was really good. So Janet, thank you so much. Class was amazing. With that being said, we already know that we're going to be putting some videos together. So I just want to let you guys know that's going to be coming soon. We don't have a deadline yet because the plates are full, but we're going to make this happen. Okay. So we definitely hear you guys. So we're going to put some videos together on how you take your blocks and make it into a vest. Okay. And we'll be updating those instructions with those two components together. All right, with that being said, and all that information, let's get back into the exploding heart. So, yesterday we actually put our blocks together. We talked about the different number of blocks that we have, and so there are about 6 of them. And so they all are a little different. I'm gonna just hold some of these. Oh, you can't see that. But can you see that? Yeah. Let's do this. I'll flip it around and hold up each of them. But here's my A. A was just the background, right? Then we had B. This was like the second one. And we actually put the number of blocks that we needed for each in the corner. Now, for me to keep up with this kind of information, because I have so many sets and I have so many of different sets, they're not all equal. Some need 18, some need 30, some need 54. So yeah. So having that number at the bottom of that block is going to be really helpful. So that was my B. This was my C. And C, oh yeah, I remember C. This was, I had to make 18 of these. So I was a busy little bee in class. I wasn't working on my freedom quilt blocks, but I was busy sewing. That's for sure. And so here's my D, and I needed 60 of these. Okay. Now we'll see these blocks again. Okay. And then I had E, which is my fifth one. And as you can see, it's starting to change a lot. You don't see so much of the background. You know, that black is starting to fade out, which is really, really nice. And then my last one didn't have any of the background print in it, and that was my F. Okay. So and overall, I had about 6 of them. So we talked about these yesterday. We actually put them together. And all I did, just spend the evening and this morning really sewing these bad babies up so we can be ready to put our rows together. So that brings us up to today. And so in your instruction sheet, on page, let's see what this is, page 8, it talks about all of the different rows, and there are roughly 18 rows in total. Okay. Again, this is on page 8 and 9, and there are about roughly 18 rows. Now, 18 rows are the blocks that we assemble. This does not refer to the border, the binding, none of that, just how to make this front quilt top. Okay. So we have 18 rows. Once we get those 18 rows together, then we can actually start building out a frame. So think of your quilt top as though it's a picture. And what we like to do for our pictures, we like to accessorize them, kind of glam them up a little. So we actually put a border on them. So that's what borders do. It just frames that picture, gives it a nice outline so it can sit really nice. And that's what quilts do. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do today is actually put some rows together. We're going to see how many we can get through. All right. So this was very interesting. Wait a minute, before I go on, let me check the chat here just to see. Hello, everyone. What's up, Miss Jennifer, Miss Tracy, Valencia? Oh my God, it's so good to see you guys. Who else is out there? Khadijah. It was great. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, she explained it. She did a wonderful job. All right, then. So let's go ahead and get our rows together and everything. So today I'm changing it up a bit. I mentioned this yesterday. I said, we're going to need space, right? And before I change the camera angle, I want to talk a little bit about this because sometimes we struggle with space. Space when we're limited, especially at home. And so I want you to think about some places where you can think about laying out if you're able to. Some of us struggle with getting on the ground, but it's really helpful to have that have a space on the floor or wall that you can actually display your blocks. Okay. The reason why I say this is because it gives you an outline of what your quilt will look like before you put it together. I know some people are limited to their space, so they'll just like aim for the best. I'm just gonna put these in a row um, and pin them and just hope for the best without laying it out. Laying it out actually like I said, it gives you that avenue where you can see everything at one time, so that if there's a block that's near something else that's really should be looking quite different, the colors are the same, the pattern is too repetitive or just distracting, this is your opportunity to change that. And by laying it out, it's really helpful. It's you can always, and for me, I tend to lay mine out overnight. Sometimes I'll leave it up for a week because something is still not right and I haven't put my finger on it yet. But as soon as I do, I change something up, change a block or so, I'm like, okay, I feel good. And then I'll pin it and sew it. So think about laying it out, giving yourself that time to look at your quilt in a critical manner that is pleasing to the eye. Because once you sew it, you're married to it, right? And it is extremely painful. And I have done this before, to make something and realize, oh, it's every time I look at it, I just, ugh. And so I had to go back and fix it, right? Especially when you invest in so much time. So let me tell you, all the quirks and everything, I have been through it. So I'm speaking from my heart and my experience when I'm telling you guys this story. All right. So for me, I like using a wall. Okay. And so I mentioned yesterday I'm going to be changing it up. So I'm going to be using a wall today. And a lot of times for a wall, I'll put something like batting, a big piece of batting onto the wall. You can either tape it or you could put pins in it if you're able to put push pins in your walls. Um, Let me tell you, some of you guys are so creative. I was so impressed in class last night, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Miss Yvette. Miss Yvette had a curtain that she used. She used her curtain as her design wall, and I was like, man, that was creative. You know, using what you have that's already there, that's applicable, that you can put up your pieces, it's going to make this so much easier. Okay. And we were working on the vest, and she had her pattern pinned to the curtains and then had the fabric pinned to the curtains. I just thought that was creative. Kudos to you. However, at home, sometimes I do have a wall, sorry, not wall, but a floor space that I can lay things out, depending on the size of it. Small wall hangings, throws, things of that nature. Not quilt size. I wish I had that kind of footage one day. But here at the lounge, I do. Like if I go back in the workspace and everything, I have to clean it up because there's a lot of foot traffic. You know what I mean? So it's places like that. What I'll do is, because I like the floor space, what I tend to do is get a sheet, old sheet, something that I can protect my garment or my quilt on while I'm laying it out. It also allows me that, because there's so much foot traffic, that if I need to, I can pin the item to the sheet, roll it up, store it away, and then come back and unroll it. Okay. Yes. So it's like a little portable floor if I need it. So those are some great ideas that I just wanted to share with you guys if you ever have struggled with space and everything. So I have a wall here. I'm gonna walk you through putting some of these rows together, and we're just gonna put them together. Now, before we change over to the wall, there's one thing I do want to talk about when it's time to put these blocks together. Again, there's 6 of them in total, and just by changing, here's one of my blocks. So here I have block E. Okay, block E. Now, the background is the black. Now, if I change the orientation of this, meaning the black is sitting at the top, and if I change the orientation of my block, it makes a difference. The black is sitting to the left or right, depending on how you're facing it. It's no longer at the top, it's at the bottom. So I want you to be mindful that when you are looking at your blocks, it does matter the orientation in which you're placing your blocks when you're building out your rows. Just because you have block D and I plop it in that space, it doesn't mean it's in there correctly. Orientation is extremely important for this quilt. So you really want to pay attention to that, okay? In the instructions, it does mention that. There's like a little star there, but I'm like, oh boy, how important is that? And if you go and pick up your block, you're like, but my heart is not looking right because maybe the block is not turned to the correct orientation, okay? All right, so with that being said, I figured I was going to start with one of, do I want to start with the hard one? Oh no, that's kind of painful. Okay, we'll start with some of the hard ones, okay? Which is pretty much, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Well, let's just start with block 6. Let's start with row 6, okay? And let's build that out and everything. And as you can see, right underneath it, it tells you the name of the block. Now, it may be the same block, but remember, the orientation may change. And I can see that in this row. So that's pretty cool. So we'll definitely see that, okay? All right, so before we go over to the wall, let's see if we have any questions. Oh, we got more people that came in. Hello, Gwen. Hello. Oh, Mark Gwen has joined. Hello, my dear. Monica, Sheila, welcome everyone. All right, so let's put these rows. Let's at least do one row. Oh, we might be able to get a few rows in here, which is good because it's less homework I have to do afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the wall. Okay, so right now what you see are just 2 blocks, okay? Just 2 blocks here, okay? And I just wanted to see what that was gonna look like earlier before we went live. So we're in a good place, okay? So I'm gonna set those aside. Now, in our instruction sheet, I'm gonna start with row 6. I'm gonna repeat this again. I'm gonna start with row 6. So if you're looking at us and like, Tisha, shouldn't you start with row 1? But yes, if I look at row 1, it's so boring. Okay. I want to do the ones that are much more difficult. Okay. So that you'll see how important the orientation of putting these blocks together. Okay. So there are several rows. So I'm hoping in this space I can get all of them in place. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 blocks in a row. Well, we'll find out today. All right, let me block this off so I can keep my eye on it because I will be going back and forth. Now I didn't put up any batting, so I'm gonna just be using Scotch tape for today. Hopefully tomorrow I have time to put some batting up on the wall and be able to run through some of these rows really quickly. But I'm hoping to have a few of them sewn together so you can see how that's coming together and how important those seams should be lining up, kissing each other. So we want those points to really line up as best as we possibly can. All right, so with that being said, so it looks as though I have 2 B's, okay? So I'm gonna bring up my 2 B's. Again, I wanna pay attention to the orientation. And I already have my tape here. And let me just grab 2 now. Now, since I know that I'm gonna need these, right? I'm gonna just make sure that they're not the same colors because they're gonna be sitting beside each other. All right, so let's see what this looks like in the camera. Oh yeah, we go right there. And did I turn that right? No, Tisha, you did not. It should be going this way. Uh-oh, this way. Now let's grab another one. I'll get that one later. I'm hoping that my tape will hold. Oh no, the tape won't hold, but that's okay. Guess what? I came with my second tape. I was wondering which one was going to fail on me. All right. There we go. Now we can see that. Okay, that looks good. I just realized I put up. Okay, so this is where Tisha started thinking, especially with African print fabric. When I start doing a more like a scrapping, this feels more scrappy to me, especially with all the different random prints. I love to have a diverse or a balance of warm and cool colors. Okay. And so that's another thing that I look at when I'm working with something with so many different prints, because African prints can be so strong and so bold, which was one of the things we love about them so much. And so automatically my heart said, oh, that's a lot of warm right there. That's okay. I can easily switch out. This is where you start having that discussion in your head. Mm-hmm. Okay. How about a cool color? More pinkish, some more raspberry, some blues. Okay. I like that. All right. So I will continue building out my row, seeing what looks nice, what's pleasing. Okay. All right. So my next one is, I got 2 B's. Now I need an E. Here's my E. I'm going to just pick up the first one. I like this one. And let's pay attention to, again, that orientation. And it looks as though the black is to the, going in the same direction. There we go. So I have B, B, E. The next one is A. And A is just that solid black. Let's look. Oh yeah. I'm gonna make sure we get some more light too. Okay, let me see if I change my light. Or maybe just the black just start popping. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. So now that I have A, then it's F. Oh, Lord. We have F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 in a row. Ooh, that's a lot of F's. So I'm just going to start popping them up. That's all I'm going to do, just popping them up. Trying to keep my line straight as much as possible. I like. And again, I'm still paying attention to where those blues are, where the pinks are, where the orange or brown, trying to keep those colors. And I can see I'm starting to go up. That's how I write too. All right, I'm going to try to keep it balanced. All right, so I have, I got to keep going. I got a lot more to go. So we may run out of space. But that's okay. You get the idea. Like that. Something about that was it was too much that looks so much alike. So I'm just gonna skip a space. And maybe in the pattern, the fabric. Yeah, I think it was the pattern in the fabric. There were two that had the line patterns were so similar. Even with them together, it was just too much. Okay. All right, how many I have up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine. I think we said 10. See how that orange is popping? That might be too much. See how close they are? My eyes are just. We are at 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I miscounted. See, that's why I said I needed my eyeballs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something different go here. Ah, that is D. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's grab D. And I'm just grab one at the top and see how that works. Again, I have to pay attention to the orientation. The background is at the top. A lot of yellow. Let me see another one. Oh, I like the other one. Let's see. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, we're gonna put that here. And oh, so row 6 is looks like that bottom of the peak of the heart. Very nice. All right, so let's take this one down and let's put up one of these. And the background is going up. Nice. All right, so let's put that together. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Fs. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I might be losing you in the screen. And I'm gonna just take this next one. And because those two oranges were so close together, I'm just gonna replace that one and put it next to it. Change it up a bit. And once I get past that F, then I go back to a solid, which is a background. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay then. So let me put those on the end. I know I'm gonna lose you on those last 4. Tomorrow I'll try to see if I can get a much wider angle so we can get all of them in here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these up. So we got A. After A, we have E. And again, that background is down. I know you guys can't see it because I just ran out of wall space. And we have B. Make sure you're paying attention to the orientation for that one. And then the last one is A again. All right. That is officially row 6. Now, another thing that I do once I start building out my row, no matter where I start at, Tisha, do you normally start at the top? Where do you normally start at? I usually start at the top. But then there's times, like for today's class, I started in the middle because I just wanted the diversity of the different prints so you can see how just to walk through that, work through that process and everything. But usually I go from row to row to row. And what I do is once I start laying everything out and starting from the top, I actually, one of my best friends when it comes to quilting is sticky notes. Oh Lord, I keep a lot of sticky notes. They're my best friend. And as you can see, even when building my sets, you know, I have a sticky note on it. Let me know what block that is. And sometimes I'll put these in little buckets. I have little organized buckets. Sometimes I put them in Ziploc bags. Anything to keep me organized so I don't lose all of these little tiny pieces because they can get away from you. But with that being said, I really like doing this, and I started at the top. So with those sticky notes and everything, I will actually label my rows as well. So here I have row 1, row 2, R1, R2, R3, R4. And because this is row 6, I'll just get to number 6 here. I usually put that at the beginning because that's really important because sometimes when I take this up I pick it up off the floor. I forget the orientation of my quilt. Yes, of that row. Sometimes you can accidentally start from that end unintentionally and think that's the beginning of it, and it's not. And so you go back to lay down to put the rows together. You've changed the orientation. You turned it upside down. So that can easily happen. Also, when I start sewing my blocks, the changing of the blocks, the orientation, I can quickly get not intentionally turn my blocks. And so the reason why I'm pointing this out to you, why it's so important, that you want to make sure when you line these bad babies up, you keep the orientation and not change it, okay? So I'll take my sticky note and put it at the beginning. Just by putting it in the right, writing it the way I would write it or read it is in the correct orientation, I will remember that I should be going this way. All of these are my top, all of these are my bottoms, okay? Because you can quickly, and sometimes I'll just throw notes on things and it'll look like this. And then I'll like, oh my God, what orientation did I mean for that to be? Was I supposed to this to be the bottom, this the top? So I'm really conscious about where I'm placing my sticky note, the label, so I remember the orientation. And if I have that system in place, I can trust it every time. I don't have to second guess it, especially for a quilt like this, where the orientation is really important, because guess what? You'll lose that point in that heart if you turn this in the wrong direction or sew it in the wrong direction, right? And like Miss Jan said, you'll be visiting your best friend, especially when it comes to working with a quilt and everything. You've started to sew this up and everything, and you've used those small stitches, and that's so painful. So take your time, lay out your quilt, okay? All right, so that is row 6, okay? And then I will come and literally put them on top of each other, okay? So I would do this, but you find what works for you. Some people do it back, go do this, do this, do this. Me, I just stack mine and I know I'm sewing on that one side, okay? I'm gonna leave this up just for everyone to come back and view it if we need it for later and everything. So now that we've gotten that in place, that one row, guess what? You get to do it over again. That's right. You get to do this at least 17 more times, right? Because there are actually 18 rows. Let me double check. But yes, there are 18 rows. Yes, indeedy. 8 in a row. All right, so tomorrow we'll have some of these rows together, okay? And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the planning process of framing, okay? We'll talk about batting. We'll talk about machine quilting. We'll talk about threads, backing, all of those little small details. Like once I finish my quilt top, what do I do next? So your quilt is not finished until it is quilted, right? Until it is completely framed, everything is taken care of, okay? So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So let's meet back over at the headshot and let's chit chat. All right. So now that we are back, I hope that was helpful. But before we get back into discussion, let me just check. Oh, no questions? We feel good? I there's it's quiet in the chat. So I just wanted to make sure, any questions at this point. Welcome, Monica. Welcome, Sheila. I hope this information is helpful, especially if you're putting together the Exploding Heart. All right, so with that being said, I think we did good today. Oh my God, we nailed that in no time. With that being said today, I'm going to go ahead and start building out my rows. That's right. And keep adding on and keep adding. I'm going to continue with 7. So if you all want to sit back with me and just watch me go through this process, you can. But if not, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow and everything. And if you have any questions, you can hang out in the chat and I'll be just coming back and forth just to check on the chat, okay? All right, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to be working on row 7. All right, row 7. All right, I'm gonna get my tape together, get my tape game together, so it's a little bit easier, a little quicker for me. Sorry for my back to facing towards you. All right. So we're going to go ahead with row. Oh, let me get my little booklet. Now, what I do, now you saw me how I just jumped from one row to the other row real quickly. So what I find to be helpful, this is my little cheat sheet. I take a painter's tape. I think I said this before. My eyes, with a lot of black lines, it'll start jumping. And so I need something to stabilize my eyes. So colors are my best friend. Highlighters are my best friend. Painter's tape is my best friend because it keeps my eyes at that location, that place, instead of jumping all around. So I'm going to reposition my tape so I can stay on point and not misdirect myself by looking at another set of instructions and realizing my eyes are jumping. Okay. You can easily do that. And I try, the best thing in the world is being self-aware, right? And I know this about myself. All right, so I'm on row 7. So all I did was just reposition my painter's tape to that line. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see that. That feels good. And it's right there. All right, so I'm gonna start pulling out my pieces. So it looks like I need B. And this is not a time to be, oh my God, that's B, E, and D, and just grab a bunch of them and come back and just lay them down. I just want to make sure, because I want to trust my process, that once I pick this up, do one at a time and just take your time, okay? No rush. All right, so here I got some mixed up. So let me go back and make sure I put these back in their right place. Clean up your workspace if you need to. There we go. Oh, I didn't make a lot of bees. Okay. I thought I had a lot. All right, my first one is a bee, and that is with the African print going up. I'm going to put my tape here. I'm going to go ahead and, because it's the beginning of the row 7. Make sure I'm turning that sticky note to the right orientation. Bingo. All right, so that's B, E. And the blackest two for me is to the left. There we go. And then we have E again. And the black, the background is going downward. Okay. Okay. A lot of strong reds going on there. Let's see. Oh, what am I doing, Tisha? Sorry, sometimes I get in my head. So it's nothing the matter with that. It's just I noticed that there's a lot of strong red right there. Just want to break it up just a little. And so I'm just playing with other color options. And I like that one even better. That's all I'm doing. Just playing. If it this is what do you call this process? This is what I call when the quilt, the fabric is talking to me. I've been sewing a long time and quilting for some time that I trust my first instinct. Like, oh, and if it pops in my head and I notice it, then the person who's going to look at my quilt in all those years will say, oh, but maybe they won't. Maybe that's just the critic in my head, you know? So, but if I notice it, I do trust my instinct that, oh, okay, then, maybe I can add a little color there. It's okay. So I'll just bring up another one. Listen to what your piece is trying to tell you. It is talking to you. It is talking to you without a doubt. All right, so I have my 3. So the next one is the background. Here we go. And we have, I keep looking at, let me turn this one over. I got 3 sets of instructions. So of course my eyes are like, oh. All right, so we have B, E, E, A, and so we have F. Quite a bit of Fs. Okay. And so I'm just going to put these bad babies up here. I think that's what my first initial was. Let's go with 7. All right. And all I'm doing is throwing them up here. Just boom, 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 boom. And just stepping back and taking a look and like, oh, okay, I got 2 reds there. But then one thing about this is that if I just change the orientation, stick it somewhere else, it's okay, because I know I'm going to need this block quite a bit. Okay. And bring that over, bring that over. We're doing good. I'm going to put 2 more. Let's grab some tape. Sorry about that. All right. All right, let's check in. Now I'm starting to feel like I'm hitting a lot of yellows, like a lot of strong yellow here. I'm just going to jump. See if I can find something that's a little bit, oh, here we go. Let's turn that yellow. Yeah. Okay, I feel a little different about that. That looks good. Feels good. Mm-hmm. So how many of these F's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 8 of them up there, but I probably don't need 8. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do. I need 2 more. There's 10 of them in there. All right, so let's go ahead and put those up. I have, look, I only have 2 left. That's so perfect. Ah. Oh, I may not be able to get far. I was hoping that during today in the while I went live, I could at least do 4. Because if I don't do them 4 with you, I gotta do them 4 at some point. All right. Looks good. And another one. All right. So I know I just ran off a screen for you guys, but I will do better tomorrow. That's for sure. I will have this a wider angle for you all to see this. I didn't realize how big this was going to be, but you know, once you start putting these together, they're going to definitely shrink quite a bit. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and finish out row 7. So once we finish with the F, we go back to the background. Let's pull up a background, and I know I'm gonna lose you. I want to go ahead and put this up. And we have a few more here. That's an E. Now pay attention to that. That background is facing down. This is not the time when you want to have a glass of wine. I can see that now. I do not want to do that. Then I'll be questioning myself as I'm sewing up my quilt. All right, so we got 2 more. That's C. Actually, these colors are very similar. I can already see that now. I want something with a little bit more pop. I want a little bit more pop. Now pay attention to that one as well. Backgrounds are on the left and right. And that last one is B. And that's going up. Oh, and I think I ran out of beads. Just confirming. And I dropped one. Let's see what this is. Oh, I dropped a lot. Oh, this is probably where all my beads went. Okay. All right, so this will work. Let's get this one up. And the print is, or the scrap or the African print is at the top. Okay. Let's step back. Let's take a look. That looks nice. I'm pleased. And so that's what you'll do. You just continue just building and building and building, building and building. Remember, Rome was not built in a day. So this is going to take you some time. Okay? So I'm hoping that by the end of the day, I can have 4 of these ready so we can have something to talk about and see how much shrinkage we'll have, okay? All right, with that being said, let's see if we have any more questions. Let me just jump on over. All right, let's see. We're doing good out there? I think so. All right. Okay, perfect. All right, so how much time do we have? Oh, I got about we're gonna build another row. Yes, indeed. All right, let's jump back over to the wall. Oh, now I can see I am running out of some blocks. All right, so all I'm doing is taking my painter's tape and just repositioning my tape to the next line. So this will be number 8. So that's all I'm doing, just taking my tape so I can keep my eyes on that area, okay? All right, so row 8, let me pull up my sticky note. Let me get my tape gang going. I can have some lined up. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, row 8. Our first one here is A, that background. Okay. There we go. All right, and let's go ahead on to the second one. So that is a D. We haven't seen D in a while. We saw D up in here. Yeah. All right, so now we're coming back to that D again. So let's take D and pay attention to the background, okay? Background is up at the top. Okay. And we have F. We ate a lot of F's. All right, actually, yeah, let's grab that. That was my last F in that row, but I think I have one more somewhere. But we're going to keep going as far as we can go. All right, then we have A. The fourth one is A. And we have quite a bit of F's coming up. I just ran out of quite a few F's and everything. Let me double check. I made a lot of E's. Let me make sure I didn't get any mixed up in here. Oh no, I found one. All right, we're gonna put that one up and call it a day because we already know we need more F's. We can't go any further. So for today, guess what Tisha's gonna be doing? Continue adding more, sewing up more blocks. Okay. So I had enough just to make a few rows. I knew that, but I know I need to go ahead and finish making up all of my rows. So I'm missing quite of my F's and my D's and a lot of my B's. So I'll be sewing those up today. And tomorrow we'll sew up some rows and everything because I don't think I'll be able to get that far. I'm pushing through it, but we're going to have this quilt ready by the end of this week. So let's go back over to the headshot. see if we have any questions and everything, and go from there. All right, so let's see. So we're back at, so let me just check the chat. Yes. All right. So I hope you all had a wonderful time, and I hope that helped you. I think for a lot of quilters or even garment sewers, just to see how I go through my process. If you ever have come in, if especially as members, and seen and work with a lot of our instructors, we all have a different approach, which is one of the things that's so enriching in a community. Because even if one person may not understand that process, there's so many instructors here that have such a plethora of knowledge and skill set that you'll find one that makes sense, right? But I love that. So that gives you an opportunity just to see how I work through when I'm working with a quilt, the tools that I'm using, my thinking process, all the things that I'm using. So you get to see that. So I hope this was really, really helpful. And I had so much fun. I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping that my schedule will allow me to do this once a week with you guys. So if you really like this, please let us know, or say, "Hey, Tisha, hey, I want you to do something else." Let us know because we're always listening and everything. So with that being said, I hope you had a wonderful day on day 3. Again, tomorrow will be our last day, day 4, and we want to close this bad baby out, right? All right. With that being said, you all have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. All right, it's a one-man band, so I have to turn this off. All right. Bye, everyone.